Let's talk about off-shoulder casting and what we mean by off-shoulder casting. This is my on-shoulder or my casting shoulder. And this is primarily where people cast from. But once in a while, you're going to have to cast over this shoulder, and you're going to see that the rod tip is slanted over this way. And we can do this a couple of different ways. One is we can just cast like this, which is fine. The problem is that if you look at it, my casting arc can only get so big and my shoulder hurts. So for cast 40, 50 feet, this is fine. Just casting like this off of this shoulder. But if you're going to cast a long distance, once you get pretty good and you want to haul and you want to shoot line to 60 or 70 or 80 feet, you're going to have to get it so that your rod can go back. You're going to need a bigger casting arc. This casting arc won't be enough. It's probably 50 feet is about the farthest you can get unless you lift your arm, and it's really awkward. So you're going to have to get your rod back to here to make an off-shoulder cast. So off-shoulder cast, wind's coming into your off-shoulder, into your casting shoulder. This is a good opportunity. What if you've got a bunch of junk on this side? You got a tree back here and you still want to fish? I'll tell you a common place I find is I'm on a river and I'm fishing, let's say I'm fishing upstream and I'm on river left. So this is the river going this direction. So the river's going that direction, and the tape, which you can't really see, it's at my feet, but the tape is the bank. And all of a sudden I want to fish upstream on this bank. This cast is pretty awkward. It actually sends it sends the fly out into the middle of the water. I want to fish right next to the bank. Either I'm going to have to fish left-handed, I'm going to have to fish off-shoulder, or I'm going to have to go to the other bank to get a good cast here, especially if there's any kind of bushes. I can't cast over this shoulder into a bank that I'm on. That's not going to work. So off-shoulder is a cast we use quite a bit, and I practice off-shoulder casting a lot. I see very, very few people that cast off-shoulder very well at all. Most of them don't even try. This is a beginning drill, but it's not a beginning drill. Again, it's a fundamental drill. One of those drills, it's just the whole idea of casting off-shoulder is going to catch you more fish. Because there's sometimes you don't have a choice if you want to make a good cast. You either have to cast off your shoulder, or you have to cast left-handed, or you don't catch those fish. So it does cost people fish when they can't do this. So practice these drills. So we're going to zoom back out again and do some drills and have you watch these drills. And then we'll talk about the things to be aware of when you're doing it. But mostly is just start practicing. Practice an off-shoulder or practice left-handed. Either one is going to be important. And by the way, there's a lot of research that says practicing left-handed helps your right-handed casting. So we have a pretty good wind coming from this shoulder right now. So that's going to be, actually it's kind of coming this direction. So we can sort of do a pretty good job of imitating real-life situation with a wind into a shoulder. So let's talk about off-shoulder and just demonstrate some off-shoulder casts. Remember that your casting arc is going to stay the same. If on this side, if my casting arc was this big, if I cast off the opposite shoulder, I should have my casting arc, it should be just about the same. So if I want to make a downward trajectory, I just change my trajectory down and try to make a cast. It's the same thing with the pickup. When the line comes off the water, stop. And there's going to be a tendency to go a little bit farther, and your loop may get just a little bit bigger, and then just start working your way to where you want whatever trajectory you need and whatever casting plane you need. So here's off shoulder, horizontal casting plane, off shoulder, .45-foot, then here's off shoulder vertical, almost vertical. You just practice because it takes different muscles. The muscle to make a forearm cast is primarily on the inside of your forearm. The muscle to make an off-shoulder cast or backhanded cast is back here. And the other thing is you check out the video on some of got a lot of crows flying around. Check out the video on exercises because I do a lot of reverse curls to try to strengthen this muscle, because this is how you get tennis elbow, trying to cast too far with an imbalance or too hard with an imbalance between this muscle and these muscles. So work hard at off shoulder. It's going to make this cast even easier.